Whether you're in North or South Carolina or anywhere else in the world, enter the Cat Cave with D. White and Shannon Smith, a part of Keep Pounding Podcast Network, powered by the Fans First Sports Network, where you can find shows such as Winning the Division with NFL alum Ben Troop and my play cousin Ryan Smith, the host, and he also hosts Inside the Vault. Also, too, don't forget Believe in Panthers on the Believe Network with founder of Tobacco Road Sports Radio, Desmond Johnson, and the all-time leading rusher in Carolina Panthers history, Jonathan Stewart. Welcome back to the Cat Cave, where we talk Panthers football. I'm Shannon Smith, a.k.a. Podcast Smitty, holding down Western North Carolina, and I have with me the beast from the Northeast, North Carolina, Pasquotank County's own, D. White, my partner. How you doing? Oh, turn on, baby, turn on. There you go.
I ain't doing too bad. Having fun, relaxing, challenging my co-host Shannon off the screen with some weightlifting. We having a good
man. Week. Yeah, I've been seeing what you're doing. I've been peeping you, and I'm like, you know what? Let's jump on it. Let's do this together. You know, as brothers, let's do this together because we got to keep doing this podcast for a while, especially while the Panthers are handling biz right now and are going to be going on the field this Sunday. Look, I know, like me and D, we missed the Panthers on Sunday, you know, so watching Panthers football on Sunday. You know, we had to watch everybody else. We had to watch all of the NFL besides the Panthers and three other teams that were on the bye week. So we got some things to unpack. We're going to talk about the bye week, you know, what we took from the season, especially with the big win against the Rams, which we've talked about. We're not going to spend too much time on that because that's over and done with. And then, of course, we're going to talk about the game, Road to Redemption, because there's a redemption game that's going to be played on Sunday, and we got to talk about that. And last but not least, we have to talk about something else. And it has to be with one of our former quarterbacks. And I want to get a final thought with D, myself. We want to talk about that because that's something that I think that we need to discuss. So, with that being said, let's begin. Panthers on a bye week, like we said. Had the big win against the Rams. Main focuses on the bye week, of course, getting healthy, getting that rest after a lot of football was played for the Carolina Panthers. A lot of football. 13 games were played before the Panthers went on the bye. Went on a high note on the bye with the big win against the Los Angeles Rams. Carolina coming back on the field this Sunday. Now, D, I like the fact that the Rams got beat by the Panthers. Panthers handled biz. But I'm a little worried because you know how it goes. Sometimes when the Panthers get up, there could be a possibility of a letdown. Now, I'm not saying that there is, but I'm just saying, you know, that's been the trend coming out of the bye week. D, how you feeling coming out of this bye week, man?
Opportunistic. I think the way we've been playing, we ordinarily would have not beaten in the last few years. And we've gotten beaten by some teams that we should have beaten. But, I mean, with this, the way this team is ascending is trending upward. So I don't want to say fully like, hey, this game is clutch because it's the same team that beat us earlier this year. But this ain't the same team that got beat by the Saints earlier this year. We've gotten better offensively. We've gotten better defensively. We're getting people back healthy, and our play calling was not suspect last week. So, I mean, I'm very opportunistic when it comes to this game. The same thing I felt the last time we played them. Don't take them for granted. because they've shown that they can beat us. They've shown that they can beat other teams in the NFC South. Two of their wins have come from teams in the NFC South. So let's not discount that. Let's play them to the level that we played the Packers or the Rams, and not just assume that this is a rollover game. That's my biggest thing right now.
Definitely. You were right when you talked about this is a different Panthers team than what the Saints saw a few weeks back. We're in the nitty gritty right now. And of course, I can do this now because, of course, we're going to talk about Sunday's game. So I can kind of look ahead. I can kind of do that. So looking at it like this, the Panthers 7-6, still in the hunt for a playoff spot, first time in a long time. I'm very thankful. Now, I don't want anybody to think that I'm not thankful for the good football that the Panthers have played, the fact that they're over 500. Very thankful for that. Very thankful for that. There's some kinks that the Panthers have had to work out, and they did. And then there's some things that they didn't work out. They were going over what worked and what didn't over this bye week, and that's great. I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying that, I'm not happy about this. I am, because this is meaningful football. We're getting that this year. But we can look ahead now. So this is something that I'm new at doing with doing this podcast, because at this time around, we're looking for the back end of the season, the end of the season on a high note, and then going dormant and watching the playoffs. There is a possibility that the Carolina Panthers could be playing in the playoffs right now. And looking at the games that they have, the last 4 games, of course, we're going to be talking about this Sunday against New Orleans Saints. But then the week after that, you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, then the Seattle Seahawks right after Christmas, and then the Tampa Bay game. That's a possibility that it could decide the NFC South. This is a big and a great time to be a Carolina Panther fan. It's a great time. The thing this team has done, they've exceeded expectations to me. They have. But for the most part, the job is not done yet. It's not over yet. And we're not saying that it is. But it's just saying we got to hold on a little bit longer, play meaningful football for 4 more games. There's a possibility of the NFC South or a playoff berth could be happening for the Carolina Panthers. And this game coming up this weekend is going to be pivotal. Now, we'll talk about the Saints game. Of course we are. But with these 4 games left, can the Panthers do it?
Yes, they can do it. I think realistically, in my mind, if they could win 2 out of these 4 games while the Buccaneers are on their slump, this could be our year to get back in the playoffs. The Buccaneers, they've been dealing with a lot of injuries. However, they do have players coming back. Mike Evans is coming back. Baker has been up and down because of injury. But if we can win 1 game against the Bucs, we could beat the Saints. I think that might be enough to get us through, as long as, Tampa Bay controls their own fate as well. Mm-hmm. They're obviously the team to beat in this division. However, they're not completely unbeatable. During their slump, they've lost 5 games?
Yep.
So, if we beat the Saints and, the Buccaneers are still slumped and, taking their lumps because they're dealing with a lot of injuries, like I said, 2 games should get us in. 1 would be great because, coming from 2-15 to 5-12, now 7-6 right now. Mm-hmm. We've already shown that we've grown. We've already shown that there's a blueprint there. However, we don't want to just settle with, we've grown. We're still trying to get there. Nah, if you can, these players don't want to just see incremental improvements every year. They want to play for a playoff team or playoff coach. They want to be in the hunt. They want to show people that they're not pushovers. Give me 2 games. You can give me 3. Cool. I'm not mad. You can win all 4. I will definitely not be pissed off. But if you can successfully take over this NFC, at least this year, it's going to show people, not just the players, the fans, the rest of the league, the rest of the players, that we're not the old Carolina Panthers. We're not the team that lost Cam Newton and couldn't win anything afterwards. We're the team on the come up now. We're the team that Bryce Young is our quarterback. We're not at that point where, oh, we should have got C.J. Stroud. No, we got Bryce, and Bryce is leading this team. C.J. Stroud hasn't had a 448-yard game. He's had great games. Bryce Young has led the league in fourth quarter comebacks with 11.
Yes.
I mean, he finally has good players around him. It's good to see. Give me 2 wins. I think we can do it.
Absolutely. And I'm looking for him to do it as well, too. It is going to be a tough task, but I don't think that this team, I believe they understand it. They understand it, of course. You know, they're playing pros. This is pro football. But for the most part, I believe they can get it done. Play as a team, play as a unit. Everyone does their job. Everyone handles their business. Carolina can get in there. And I believe you 250% when you talked about, you know, this squad is not just happy with contending. They're not happy with just getting there. They are not just happy with just, you know, positive moral victories, if you will. They're all about the outcome, the wins. And that is great because it's what we need. That's exactly what we need. Now, with all that being said, you know, we're over the fanfare with the win of the Rams and the bye week. We are very, very close to playing some football again for the Panthers to go out there and show what they've learned and what they've taken away from 13 games of football and the bye week, going into the mission, getting to that playoffs, getting that NFC South, with it being up for grabs. And they go back and play the New Orleans Saints. They're playing on the road this time in New Orleans, 425 game. So, you know, if you want to watch a little football beforehand, you can. Or if you want to catch up on some things before the football game, the 425 game, that's a good thing. So you can do that. So looking at this game, one of the things that really, really stuck out to me in the Rams game has been Carolina's defense, forcing the 3 turnovers on Matthew Stafford. The way that they ball hawked, the way they went after the ball carrier, getting into the backfield, making the plays. Good play from the secondary. This is going to be very, very interesting coming into this game because Carolina is seeking redemption. Yes, they are seeking to win this game because one step closer to the NFC South Championship. Now, looking at this game, redemption is good to have redemption on the mind. But that's not what you're here for. It's not just redemption. You're looking for the playoffs. You're looking for the NFC South. And what I noticed in this game, looking back at the game with the Saints beforehand, is that the Saints had big plays. They made some big plays, beating Carolina at home. Tyler Shugg played very, very well at quarterback. You know, Juwan Johnson, a 52-yarder on the 3rd and 12. That ended the game with a field goal. And it's just like the Panthers couldn't catch a break on defense. With the way this defense played against the Rams and a seasoned quarterback with Matthew Stafford, Tyler Shugg in this game. The question is, can he do it again? And I don't think he can with the way that this Panthers defense is played. So they got to limit the big plays, especially on the 3rd down. They have to do that, to me. And in this game, Alvin Kamara is not going to be here. He's not going to play. Been hurt, on the shelf. This is a prime time for the Panthers right now. Ground the game. Darren Neal, the young man from Kansas, he's been taking bulks of the snaps for the Saints. Taysom Hill has been in there playing a wildcat kind of running back. Taysom Hill all over the place. Quarterback, tight end, receiver, running back. Taysom Hill does a little bit of everything. He's a Swiss Army knife. But is it enough for them to do it? Is it enough? Can Tyler Shough do it again in the air? Can he do it again? Does he have another game in there to do it? Especially with this running game kind of being questionable. But one of the big upsides of the Panthers on the defensive side of the ball is that they're going to be full strength. Trevon Merrick, back from his 1-week suspension. Lathan Ransom is going to be playing in this game. J.C. Horn, that's a question mark. We don't know if J.C. is going to be playing. We don't know. And also, having him back would help the Panthers a lot. But with Mike Jack playing the way he's played at the cornerback position, we could see a little bit of a difference in the secondary, but they've played very, very well. Getting Merrick back is big. That's a good thing. Lathan Ransom, having him back in the fold is big. So this defense is going to have to come in to the game ready to play, especially after playing a big-time contributor in Matthew Stafford. Offensively, just like you said, Bryce on the offensive side of the ball at the quarterback position. Prove you can beat the Saints in the air. I think Bryce can do it. In a quarterback showdown with Tyler Shough, I think he can do it. I think he can. We're going to see. And also, too, the hot hand in the backfield, Rico Dowdle. Got to get him the ball effectively, have him move the ball, get the running game going. They got to be able to run the football. That's a big thing. I know that Bryce has been handling his biz in the air, but the ground game is what helps the Panthers more than anything. And the Panthers got to be fast. Right out the gate, they got to be fast. They got to be able to get down the field, and they have to score in order to beat the Saints squad. They have to score fast, and they got to apply pressure. That's what I look at in this game here, D. Anything else to add to that, my man?
I mean, I think you're absolutely right. I don't necessarily care for them to play super fast as long as they progress. I mean, control the game, control the time of possession, run the ball like we've been doing. Rico Dowdle is 71 yards away from 1,000. Tetairoa McMillan is 174 from his 1,000. First season, first 1,000 yard. I mean, Roseboom has 91 total tackles. Merrick has 81 total tackles. I ain't saying this is a game where you get your stats up, but this is a game where you show what you're worth. You don't play down just because their record is 3-10 doesn't mean that they're gonna play like they're 3-10. You have to earn it. These boys need to earn it from the Saints. They took your cookies last game. Go back and get it. Punch them in the mouth. Play like you want to be in the playoffs, and let's see what we can do. That's pretty much it for me. The Saints ain't just gonna lay down for us.
Yes,
we gotta go get it.
Yes, I mean, Saints are playing Party Crash right now. They don't have the playoffs to look forward to. They're playing Party Crash. They're letting their young guys play on top of that too, putting Tyler Shough in there with Spencer Rattler being out at the quarterback position. Alvin Kamara is hurt. Darren Neal is taking carries. Chris Olave, of course, is one of the lone guys. I really don't see Chris Olave coming back to the Saints next year. I don't really see it. It's sad to say. I get it, but the man wants to win. I don't think he's going to win anything in New Orleans anytime soon. So, of course, he might test the free agency market. He might want to get traded, whatever it is. I don't know his contract situation. Don't know. But the Saints are letting these young guys play because what else do they have? Why not see? With this year being almost up, put the young guys in there, let them see what they got. Which was what Carolina was in a position of doing, and now they're not. So hey, let them go out there, let them play football, let them play party crash with somebody. They played a party crash in Tampa Bay last week. So, I mean, that was great, for us, for the Panthers. It was great because Tampa Bay was looking like they were gonna it was their division to lose. And now you see what happens when you take teams lightly. Not saying that Tampa Bay done that, but in essence, it looks like they did. Because the Saints were not supposed to win that game, especially with Tampa Bay having what they've had this year, the success that they've been having, and how well that they've played as a unit, the way Baker Mayfield has put himself into an MVP conversation, which that window is closing now. So, you've got guys like Drake May going out there, taking that away from him. Drake May, Smith and Jigba could be in there at the receiver spot. There's a lot of players out there that kind of took that away from him, but that doesn't mean he can stop playing. The Saints have nothing to lose. They're going to go out there. They're going to play whatever they're going to play. And someone could fall victim to a team that doesn't have a playoff future. You don't want that. The Panthers don't want that twice. So that's definitely a big thing that's going to be on the mind for Panthers. I don't think redemption should be on their mind. Playoffs should be on their mind. Staying alive for the playoff race should be on their mind. You can get redemption later. You can get redemption if you win. But other than that, playoffs is the big thing. So yes, Carolina back in action. 4:25 on Sunday, playing the New Orleans Saints. Let's go Panthers. Let's go Panthers. Let's get a win. Now, let's close this out here with something Panther related. We got to talk about this because this is something that, first of all, I thought this was clickbait, number one. When I found out about it, I thought it was clickbait. But now that it's not, we can discuss this. So, the Indianapolis Colts unfortunately had a little bit of injury problems at the quarterback position. Daniel Jones getting hurt. He tore his Achilles tendon, I believe, is what he hurt. Season-ending injury. One thing with me as a rule, as a sports fan, I shall not, have not, and will not celebrate an injury for any player, whether it's on any team, whatever team it is, whether it's the rival, whether it's the Dallas Cowboys, anybody in the NFC South. We're not going to applaud an injury. Not cool. Not cool. So, Daniel Jones, speedy recovery. Get well soon. We'll see you back here playing some football. But tore his Achilles tendon. Riley Cooper getting hurt as well too, not able to play. So what do the Indianapolis Colts do? They go and sign Phillip Rivers. Now, as someone who is about to be 40 in another year, it sounds great at 40 years old coming back playing football. But guys, Phillip Rivers has not played a game in almost 4 years. He's 44 years old. It's scary, number one. But D, let me get your opinion on this right here, about, Phillip Rivers going in and possibly playing at 44 years old. Your thoughts on that before we get into what we're going to really talk about. Your thoughts on that?
I mean, he wasn't the best when he retired. So why come back knowing you're not up to par? I mean, granted, you did a lot of great things. I'm not going to take that from you. You're a great quarterback for the Chargers. But that was a long time ago. Like, these boys are like running 4.3, 4.4, 4.2s constantly. You're probably running like a 5 on your best day. You're trying to outrun. Well, I'm not going to say you're trying to outrun these boys, but you're trying to avoid these boys, these young men, and be this nobody's thinking you're going to be this world beater. Nobody's thinking you're going to be Tom Brady or anything. They just want you to like steady the ship. And on one hand, that's great. You're 44. You're coming back. Cool. It sounds good. That's dope. Like I wish at 44 I could like do something dope like that. Call myself a starting NFL quarterback at 44. That's great. However, if this doesn't turn out well, you're gonna be 45 and you'll be talking about how you should have just stayed home. I mean, I I get it. Y'all want somebody that is NFL caliber, but at what point do you just like this probably ain't the best decision for me? I might want to give it a go again. You probably not going. It's not gonna work out the way you want. I mean, the Colts are a good team, but they've gotten what 3 to 4 quarterbacks hurt in the span of a year.
Yes.
And now you bring a 44-year-old, and you think that's gonna be a great idea? You had other people like, I'm not even saying like, you had undrafted quarterbacks, you had players that they're sitting on practice squads, you had free agents that are still capable of playing, but you dig in the retired pile, not even at the top of the retired pile. It's like you got like a deck of Uno cards and you cut it in half and pick somebody. That might not be the best course of action, but clearly somebody still believes in Philip Rivers for the stuff he was able to accomplish. No hate. Get your bread, play your games, but be careful because the Colts have 3 to 4 quarterbacks that are on the sidelines, not as healthy for some reason. I'm not gonna say it's the offensive line. I'm not gonna say it's play calling. I'm not gonna say it's bad luck. I don't know. I don't watch the Colts. However, they got 3 or 4 quarterbacks all hurt in the span of a year. You might want to be careful because I think you was hurting before you left too. So
yeah, I think you was. I think you're right. I mean, when I heard about this course, like I said, I thought it was clickbait. I thought it was a joke. I was like, "Who's saying this?" Okay, it's not funny. I mean, I know that Daniel Jones getting hurt, that sucks. But don't come at me with this right here, man. With something like this. But then I found out it wasn't a joke, and I was like, they're really working him out. So he's going through the practice squad. Okay, understood. He passed the physical. Good. Okay. I'm good. I'm glad it's not just me that was like, ain't this odd? That he passed the physical. Are you sure he did?
There's no amount of Tylenol in the world that's going to help this man after like 3 games.
I mean, you're right. I feel you. But, I mean, he passed the physical, so they say. And there's a possibility that he could play sometime this year. There are 4 games left for the season, 4 games left. The Colts have already been on their bye week already. So, yes, Andy Richardson getting hurt. You've got Riley Leonard getting hurt. And then, of course, Danny Dimes getting hurt. It sucks. It really does. But, yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that one. He's 44 years old. The risk of injury is what scares me the most because, I mean, these guys, like you said, great athletic players and, they're great athletes, young players on top of that too, young players. And, Phil Rivers, man, you've been playing football for a long time. You're 44 years old. You don't get up as quick as you used to.
Mm-hmm.
If you take a hit from a TJ Watt or if you take a hit from a Derek Brown, oh my God. Oh, whew. Oh man, if Derek Brown got a hold of that, man.
They got to turn the mics off.
Yes.
A lot of curse words.
Yes. This is scary. This is very scary. Micah Parsons coming out of it. This is scary. So, I mean, like I talked about this with my buddy Jason, on his podcast the other day. I was like, look, man, I teach unlawful workplace harassment at my job. I teach that. He's in a protected class, 40 plus. He's in a protected class, equal opportunity employer. Yes, he is. But you also got to let him know, look, you can do the job. Yes. But what the job entails, this is where we find out. You can do the job, sure. but you got to know the risk you're taking when you take said job. So yes, so that's something that has to be understood. But now, getting to it, we're not going to keep anybody long from this one. But I was watching Cam Newton's podcast, 4th and 1, watching his podcast, and Cam felt like it was a slap in the face seeing Phillip Rivers, 44 years old, not played football in 4 years, getting a call from the Colts to come back and not him. Now, I don't know if anybody's been keeping up with Cam lately outside of the podcast, but Cam has been still in good shape, still big, still strong, still an imposing figure. But him not getting a call, and 44-year-old Phillip Rivers gets a call, kind of worries me a little bit. You know, Cam's not that old. He's not. Cam is still in good shape. He can still go. But Cam is here, and I know there's people out there saying, well, he's not retired. He's been podcasting, all this other stuff. Look, I get it. But Cam's not 44 years old. D, jump in on this one, man. Am I reading into this too much? Is Cam saying the wrong things? Do you feel like Cam has a leg to stand on in this conversation? Tell me.
Cam Newton has earned the right to say the things that he said. And that's not just me being like a fanboy of Cam. Like, he's my favorite player. However, he even said in his podcast that it's his personality.
Yes.
Now, I don't want to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy. Cam Newton is a 36-year-old African-American man with a larger-than-life personality.
Yes.
He's going to bring energy. He's going to bring competition. He's going to bring everything that you've seen throughout the years of Auburn, Florida, and the Carolina Panthers, and even the New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he's grown in professionalism since then, but lately he's just been more vocal because of his podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But that shouldn't stop him from getting opportunities. He was still a dynamic player. It took Josh Allen, how many years for him to break one of Cam's records? And they still don't even want to give Cam that credit.
Yes.
Cam Newton has earned the right to say the things he said. He's earned the right to have people call his phone, because if it wasn't for him, there wouldn't be a lot of these players. There wouldn't be the 6'6", 240, 250-pound quarterbacks getting design run plays called for them.
Yes.
I mean, Cam is forever going to be a Carolina GOAT. He should be in the Hall of Fame at some point because of his attributes, because of the things he's done in Carolina. His MVP is taking the team to the Super Bowl, everything. That man is earning. And wholeheartedly, what he said was true. His personality is the reason that people aren't calling him. And it's messed up, but we all know it. It ain't just, a group of black people or a group of white people saying, we know why Cam Newton's not getting opportunities. It's out loud.
Yes.
Anybody in the NFL would probably take a Aaron Rodgers over a Cam Newton, and Aaron Rodgers has had so much negative baggage with him, but you'll still take him because he's not Cam Newton. He might throw his receivers under the bus. He might say a whole bunch of crazy stuff, but he ain't Cam Newton. So they'll take that. They'll take that over what Cam Newton provides, and it's sad.
I agree. A lot of question marks with Aaron Rodgers over the years as well too. He got the one Super Bowl, but yet and still, that was one Super Bowl, wasn't multiple. Then, of course, he goes to two different teams at the tail end of his career. Pittsburgh, they're okay right now for the time being for the playoffs. I get it, but there's still question marks about if Mike Tomlin's going to keep his job because of this. You're going to hear that. But to me, I agree. First of all, what you're saying is spot on. I agree wholeheartedly. Cam's personality is what keeps him from getting what he gets. Cam is a great quarterback. He did a heck of a job as a Panther. Notoriety, took the Panthers to a Super Bowl, was an MVP, All-Pro, was Offensive Rookie of the Year. Cam has done a lot of things that a lot of quarterbacks have not done. And for him not to at least get a consideration or whatever is a slap in the face. And I do agree with Cam Newton. He's not moaning and crying and whining. I don't think so. And anybody who thinks so does not understand or appreciate the greatness of Cam Newton, of how well he was. Once again, to echo my man Jason Colenso, who hopefully is watching, usually does watch sometimes, but get off the phone. Turn off your phone. Turn off the distractions, the social media. Sit down and watch the game. Watch what he did with no bias, no distraction, and appreciate the greatness that we are seeing, just like what we are seeing with the Carolina Panthers right now at 7-6. Possible playoff run begins in New Orleans at 4:25 p.m. on Sunday. Thank you for watching the Cat Cave. You may now exit the Cat Cave. For more, make sure that you're tuned in to Tobacco Sports Radio's YouTube channel. Make sure you're tuned in to the Keep Pounding Podcast Network, Fans First Sports Network, powered by that. Make sure that you're here to watch us again next week. Hopefully talking about the Carolina Panthers victory, moving forward to a playoff push for D. White. I'm Shannon Smith. Go Panthers.
Keep pounding.